Hi there, and welcome to Christmas Cheer Central by Nicole B. Stampin'. I'm Nicole Black, and I am going to show you a special Christmas card that I've created here that has an ornament to take away with. So here's the card. Here's what it looks like. And the inside is just stamped with a Merry Christmas, but here's what makes it special. This little ornament on the front is like a pull. As you can see, if you pull it out, the person getting the card has a cute ornament that they can hang on their tree. And I stamped it behind here, wishing you a, so the card still has a cute saying once they remove the ornament. So I'm going to show you how to do this ornament. It's a little tricky to get the things lined up, so I wanted to demo that today. First, I'm going to start with an 8.5 by 11, and this is real red cardstock, and I scored it at 4 1/4. So for my base, okay, and then I used the designer paper, the 6x6 designer paper called Take a Bow. And out of this designer paper, I was able to cut a piece of 4 by 1 3/4, a 4 by 1 1/4, and a 4 3/4. And I was actually able to get 2 sets of these pieces out of the one piece of paper. So you could do 2 cards out of one 6x6. I also have prepped here a piece of white cardstock at 4 by 1 3/4 as well, okay? And so I'm going to show you how to assemble this. I'm going to set this piece aside. So on the front here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere my designer papers. And I put the bigger one on the top and the smaller one on the bottom. And I'll explain to you, well, and I showed you already, why I didn't just do a full sheet all the way down. Because remember, I wanted to have words underneath. And if I did the design all the way down, you wouldn't be able to stamp there and see it because the pattern is so busy. So I'm going to do the other piece on the bottom, and I'm just lining it up so that it looks like it has the same border on the 3 sides. See how I did that? Okay, so that piece is ready. I'm going to set this aside for right now, and we're going to do the big piece here. This is the piece that I'm going to do the ornament on. So here's how I did the ornament. And there's a lot of videos out there that show you how different people have done the ornament. This is what Stampin' Up! Used to sell as a Stamparatus. There are a lot of tools just like this out on at the craft stores and stuff. And they're great to have because especially for things like this, it helps with the alignment. Sorry, my light is showing on the glass there. Sorry about that. What I did is I have a mat here, and you can use the mat, or it also has the grid on the hard. I'm using a mat because I'm using a clear stamp, and I want to make sure I get a good stamp. And my magnet's stuck. There we go. So I put my mat down. All I did is I used masking tape to mark where my paper should go. It doesn't matter, you just pick a corner. And I like using masking tape because 1, it comes off easy, but 2, it actually creates like a lip. So it's easy to know I've got my piece of paper in place. And I'm gonna put my magnet on. And it's really important to know where your paper should go. Okay, and so what I'm doing is I'm lining it up on the grid here. So it's important that you know where your paper's gonna go. Because what I did is for the ornament stamp, I made sure it is perfectly, and let me move this up a little bit. It's perfectly centered on the paper. So you can see based on the grid where there's 4 squares here, I've got it right in the center. And then there are 3, not quite 3 here. So I figured out exactly where the middle is, and I lined it up on the paper with using the grid. Okay, so, and why does it need to be in the middle? Because remember, I want to stamp on both sides the ornament. So I wanted to line up so that it's exactly in the center. So when I stamp it on each side, it's lined up. So I'm just adding my garden green, and I'm gonna go ahead and stamp. Give it a good push. Came out nice. I'm gonna flip this over. Again, putting it in the same spot. Let's see if I can get my hands on the magnet. There we go. Exact same spot as I did the other side. And I'm gonna ink it up again. And I'm going to stamp again. Now you could die cut first and then stamp. And that way you would know exactly where to line it up on both sides. But when I tried to eyeball it with the die cut lines, I kept missing and I kept being off a little bit. So that's why I decided to use this tool to line up my stamp first and then die cut. You could also die cut and then use this device to stamp it out as well. But this is just how I approached it. So then when I run this through, so I'm going to use the die cut, and here's the die, the ornament. And if you see, there's a little notch. Let me get that going here. Little notch here and here and here that won't cut all the way through. So I'm going to line up my die cut. And what I do is I use a Post-it to keep it from moving when I run it through, because that Post-it doesn't over stick and keeps things from shifting. And I'm going to die cut it. And when I'm finished die cutting, here it is. So you can see how it's got a little gap, but there's those 3 places that it won't release from. Pretty cool, huh? And so I added some elements here, and they're all from the die cuts of the same thing. So you can see here I have the leaves in garden green. I did some berries in red. Here's the back border, and then I did this guy. It's the white. And I stamped it. They have 2 different sayings in here, just for you or all is merry. And then of course I also stamped the pole from the set so that they know what they're supposed to do when they get the card. The last piece is I want to put a string on it, right? So let's get this out of the way. I'll set this over there. I want to put a string on the ornament so when they go to hang it, they have a way to hang it up. Just like that. So I am going to feed my ribbon here through the hole. And because you guys are watching, this is going to be hard. There it goes. All right, so I've got it through the hole, but I don't want to tie it around the whole piece here, right? So I'm actually going to slide the other end through the gap in the ornament here between the paper and the ornament. And I'm going to get both ends to the back. And then I'm going to go ahead and tie it in a knot. Nice and tiny here, so it's a little hard to work with, but that's okay. There we go. Got it in a knot. Sorry about that. There we go. In a knot. So, and then I'm going to hide this piece behind the ornament. So you can see a little bit there. So when it pulls off, then you have the full string. So now I'm going to flip it over to the back. And I didn't decorate the back here because you'll never see that side. You will only see the ornament, right? And I'm going to add some dimensionals, 1 on each corner. All right. Bring my card base back in here, and I'm going to plant it here. But before I put it on, remember I had words underneath my pole, right? So how did I line those up? Okay, here it is. I stamped another one and cut it out, and I'm just using this as a pattern. And so I'm going to lay it here right where I'm going to put my piece, and I'm using it just as a template. All right, this is where I want to stamp my words. So I've got my words, wishing you a, and this actually comes from, oops, I just dropped the set. Sorry, I was going to show you. It comes from Greetings of the Season. So, and I'm going to stamp it, and I'm stamping it in real red, and I'm lining it up right in the middle of my ornament there, wishing you a. So now that's in place, and I can put this down. See here, get these little pieces of paper off and lining it up just like I did the other one. Ta-da! And then finally the inside, I just have a standard cut inside, so it's 4 by 5 1/4, and I have that other little piece, and I just thought this was cute because I had enough paper to do so, to add it to the bottom. And I see a lot of people who do this with their cards, and it's really pretty, right? Because it ties in the front of the card to the inside. I stamped Merry Christmas, and this Merry Christmas is from Peaceful Season. Add some tape in here, and I'm going to put this right on the inside of my card. And there we have it. It's ready to go, and when they get it, they can pull, and you can see it'll say the wishing you on the inside. I hope you enjoyed this cute little card with a bonus ornament. Until next time, Merry Christmas.